Good morning everyone. Today we are going to discuss about care of the perineum. Perineal care is defined as clean the perineum from the cleanest to the less clean area, the urethral orifice to the anal orifice. Okay? From the urethral orifice to the anal orifice, we clean that area, use disinfectant solutions. Okay? This is meant by perineal care. Involves through cleansing of the client's external genitalia, anal area and surrounding skin. Pericare or perineal genital care involves washing the external genitalia with soap and water or with water alone or in combination with any commercially prepared peri-wash. Okay, and it can be assisted with nursing personnel. Okay, what is perineal care? Perineal care is a clean the perineum from the cleanest to the less clean area, the urethral orifice to the anal orifice. Nothing but external genitalia and surrounding area should be cleaned with water and soap. Okay, what is the main purpose of it? What is the main purpose? To prevent or eliminate any infections or odor and promote healing. If any scars will be there or any surgeries may be done, in that cases they promote healing and eliminate any infection, sepsis, to prevent sepsis and to remove discharges and prevent bad odor and to relieve itching. And some persons have may suffered with urinary tract infections. In that cases may see in this type of cleaning. Okay, wash the area, surrounding area with water and soap, and after that any secretions will be there, we must remove that one and provide comfort to the patient to prevent or eliminate infection, odor and promote healing. Remove secretions and provide comfort to the patient. And if any stitches will be there, and to promote healing we must be clean that area with disinfectants or any spirit or betadine ointment to promote healing. And after that, what are the main principles of perineal care? To clean the perineum from the cleanest to the less clean area and follow standard precautions and maintain patient's privacy, because that is private area, so we must be maintain privacy or to the patient. And after that, proximal level of functioning should be there. And patient who need frequent perineal care, who are unable to do self care, and patients with genitourinary tract infections who are suffered with genital tract infections, that patient may also need perineal care. And with fecal and urinary incontinence. What is urinary incontinence? What is urinary incontinence? Yesterday classes we discussed. What is urinary incontinence? Excessive secretion of urine or may urge to urinate. An indwelling Foley catheter, and who are recovering from rectal or genital surgery or childbirth. And patients with excessive vaginal discharge, that means whitish discharge, whitish cervical discharge will be there. If any one complains this vaginal discharge, that may person also need perineal care, because infections are easy to transmit to our inside to our body, so we must take care about that. Patients with injury and ulcers in that area, and who have morbid obesity, who are obese, that persons also may need to take perineal care. Okay, and after that, if any pain, excessive discharge, inflammation, swelling, bad odor, perineal surgery or indwelling catheter, urinal urinary or fecal incontinence, and these persons may need perineal care. And what are the equipment for perineal care? Before equipments, we need to know about what is the assessment. First, we have to doctor's order. We have to check doctor's order, and after that assess the condition of the perineal skin. Is there any itching are there, or irritation, or any ulcers, or any edema, dryness, stitches? We must be assess the client. And after that assess the need and frequency of care. That means how many each patient need to take perineal care, or how many times we should be given that area. We must be assessed. And after that self care ability to the patient and mental state to follow instructions, and what are the articles available for the procedure we must be know. And after that we must be prepare the client and the environment. And first we have to explain the procedure to the client and provide privacy. And after that arrange the needed articles at the bedside, and place the Macintosh under the buttocks over the draw sheet. Place a clean bedpan on the bed on your working side. Unite the pads if any, and observe the discharges, its color, order, and amount. First we have to observe any discharges. If any discharges will be there, we must be observe that color, order, and amount, how much amount. And what are the equipments we need for perineal care? A tray containing Macintosh, washcloth, and 2 bath towels, bath blanket, soap and soap dish, toiletry items, tissue or diaper wipes, and waterproof pad or bedpan, disposable gloves, laundry bag, any solution, and cotton balls or swabs. And next one, perineal pad, bath basin with warm water. And these are the equipments needed for perineal care. Bedpans. For bedpans, to eliminate the urines, okay, and to collect that urine, and it send them to the laboratory. And after that and it is made of metal or plastic and come in two sizes, pediatric and adult. For pediatrician, for pediatrics and adult, there will be difference in bedpans. And standard bedpan and fracture pan, okay. Urinals. And after that procedure. Wash hands thoroughly to prevent cross infection. First we have to pour the water over the perineum and wash off if any discharges are there in that perineal area on surroundings. We must be wash off that discharges. And after that hold the swabs with forceps. And clean from above downwards towards the anal canal. Okay, we must clean that area from above downwards towards the anal canal, and use one swab for one swabbing. Don't use one swab to whole area, only one swab for one swabbing. And after that clean the perineum from the midline outward in the following order: the vulva, the labia minora on both sides, inside of the labia majora on both sides, and the outside of the labia majora on both sides. Start cleaning from more clean area to less clean area, and this procedure will be demonstrated in lab. We see demonstrated, okay. First we have to listen. You have to listen first, and after that I demonstrate in lab. Clean the perineal region and anus thoroughly, and after that we must be clean the perineal region and anus thoroughly, and remove the bedpan by supporting the hip, and turn the patient to one side and dry the buttocks with a dry rag pieces, okay. First we have to wash our hands thoroughly to prevent cross infection, and after that pour water over the perineum and other surrounding areas, because if any discharges will be there, we must be wash off the discharges with water or any soap, and after that hold the swabs with forceps and clean from above downwards to the anal canal. Only use one swab for one swabbing. Clean the perineum from the midline outward. First we have to clean the perineum from the midline outward with only one swab, and after that vulva. In vulva there may be labia majora and labia minora. Two layers are there. First we have to clean labia minora both sides, and after that inside on both sides. First outside both sides, and after that inside, and labia majora also outside and inside both sides, and start cleaning from more clean area to less clean area. Okay, and after that clean the perineal region and anus thoroughly. Remove the bedpan by supporting the hip. Turn the patient to one side and dry the buttocks with a dry rag pieces. Okay, this is about perineal care. And after that apply the medicine and pad if necessary, and after remove the Macintosh if any extra one is used. Change the linen if necessary. We must be change the linen and provide comfortable position to the patient, and clean the articles and replace it proper place. Wash our hands thoroughly. Record and report the procedure in a nurse's record sheet. This is about perineal care. Okay, this perineal care as is defined as clean the perineum from the cleanest to the less clean area, the urethral orifice to the anal orifice. Okay, what is the main purpose? To prevent or eliminate infection or order and promote healing, remove secretions and provide comfort to the patient. This is about perineal care. Okay, we have to plan how to give perineal care. First we have to arrange the articles, equipment, what are needed for this procedure. Okay, and after that like this you wrapping the patient for perineal genital care. We must know how to the position. Okay, in supine position, this is lithotomy position. Okay, and after that document the procedure, the client's condition. If any redness, excoriation, skin breakdown you observe, means you, if any discharges you observe, you record that in your records. And after that to provide continuity of care, giving signature, maintains professional accountability. Okay, this is about perineal care. And after that urine testing, urine analysis. What are the main indications for urine analysis? To detect any urinary tract infection and suspected renal diseases like glomerulonephritis, nephrotic syndrome, renal failure. These all conditions we may test. We may need urinary testing. Okay, and if any detection of urinary tract infections also, the patient may go for urinary testing. And differential diagnosis of jaundice. And any metabolic disorders like diabetes mellitus, in sugar also. And diagnosis of pregnancy, urine pregnancy test also will be there na. In that conditions also we must go for laboratory for urine testing. How to collect the urine? First morning midstream we have to collect that urine, and this is very and this is preferred for routine urine examination. And after that bacterial examination, first morning midstream clean catch. Okay, and after postprandial means eating after eating to the gap between is 2 hours, and after that we must check the glucose levels in blood. We give the blood samples or urine testing also, and after that catheterize bacteriological examination in infants, bedridden patients, and in obstruction of any urinary tract infections they must be catheterized and collect that urine. And plastic bag means colostomy bag tied around genitals, infants and incontinent adults. Okay, how to preserve the urine sample? In refrigeration, 4 to 6 degrees Celsius is the best general method of preservation of urine sample up to 8 hours. Following chemical preservatives can be added to the 24-hour urine sample. What are the chemical preservatives? HCl, hydrochloric acid, toluene, boric acid, thymol, and formalin. Hydrochloric acid, and it is used for preservation of a 24-hour urine sample for adrenaline and steroids. And toluene means measurement of chemicals, and boric acid, it is a general preservative. And thymol, it inhibits bacteria and fungi. And formalin, it is an excellent chemical for preservation of formed elements. Okay, these are all the preservatives which are useful for urine sample. Okay, and after that in urine examination, physical examination, chemical examination, and microscopic examination. In physical examination we must know the order of the urine. Normally the urine may be aromatic in order due to volatile organic acids. Freshly watered urine has a typical aromatic in order, normal. If abnormal means there may be foul smell. Okay, after standing, urine develops ammoniacal odor. Formation of ammonia occurs when urea is decomposed by bacteria. And some abnormal odors with associated conditions are in ketoacidosis and starvation. They may be fruity in smell, and mousy, musty, phenylketonuria, and if any urinary tract infection, fishy smell. Okay, and foul smell in urinary tract infection. Sulfurious means cystinuria. Okay, this all about order of urine. Okay, normally aromatic order. What is the appearance? Normal freshly voided urine is appear in white in color. If any dust particles or if any infection will be there, the urine must be in red and may in thick yellowish in color. And if foamy urine occurs in the presence of excess proteins or bilirubin. Okay, and after that specific gravity, normally 1.016 to 1.022 in 24 hours sample we observe specific gravity. This is uranometer. And chemical examination. In chemical examination is carried out for the following substances: proteins, glucose, ketones, bilirubin, bile salts, urobilinogen, blood, hemoglobin, myoglobin, leukocyte esterase. These all will be under chemical examination. These proteins, glucose will be observed in that urine. Okay, and after that chemical examination in proteins. Normally kidneys excrete scant amount of protein in urine. These proteins include albumin, and this amount of proteinuria cannot be detected by routine test. Okay, if in urine proteins also will be there, presence of proteins in urine is known as proteinuria. Okay, remember, proteinuria means presence of proteins in urine. And what is the test for these proteins? Acetic acid test. The main principle are proteins are denatured and coagulating upon heating to give white cloud precipitate. Okay, if proteins are present in urine, they may be in white cloud precipitate. Okay, first we have to take 5 ml test tube. Take a 5 ml test tube and fill 2 by 3rd with urine, and after that we add few drops of 3% acetic acid. If urine is alkaline, we add 3% of acetic acid, few drops, and boil upper portion for 2 minutes. And lower part acts as control. If precipitation or turbidity appears, add a few drops of 3% acetic acid. Okay, first we take 5 ml test tube, and after that 2 by 3rd the test tube we filled with urine 2 by 3rd, and after acidify by adding a few drops of 3% acetic acid if urine is alkaline, and after that boil that upper portion for 2 minutes, and then if precipitation or turbidity appears, add a few drops of 3% acetic acid and test for glucose. For glucose, Benedict's qualitative test. In this Benedict reagent needed, what are the methods? First we add 0.5 ml, that means 8 drops of urine, and mix well. Boil over a flame for 2 minutes. Allow to cool at room temperature. Note the color change if any. Okay, first we have to take 8 drops of urine and 5 ml of Benedict solution. Okay, and these all we boil over a flame for 2 minutes and allow to cool at room temperature. Note the color change. If the result is reported in grades, no change from blue color, because this Benedict solution will appear in bluish blue color. So if blue color, no change from blue color, and it is if any green without precipitate 1 plus, and brown precipitate 2 plus, and if yellow to orange precipitate 3%, and brick red precipitate means 4 plus. Okay, these are all may indicates for glucose. Okay, there may be 4. First one, if any green precipitate 1 plus, that means glucose present in urine. If no color change, blue color remains its same, means no presence of glucose in urine. Okay, and 2 plus means brown precipitate, and 3 plus means yellow orange precipitate, 4 plus means brick red precipitate. And after that ketones presence in urine, ketonuria. Okay, ketones are breakdown products of fatty acids, and their presence in urine is indicative of excessive fatty acid metabolism to provide energy. And then normally ketone bodies are not detectable in the urine of healthy persons. Okay, normally these ketone bodies are not detectable in the urine of healthy persons. Only we observe in who are ill or any sickness will be there in kidney patients, we observe these ketone bodies in urine. If energy requirements cannot be met by metabolism of glucose, low carbohydrate intake, and increased metabolic needs, then energy is derived from breakdown of fats and formation of ketone bodies. Okay, how ketone bodies form? Due to defective carbohydrate metabolism, low carbohydrate intake, or increased metabolic needs, then energy is derived from breakdown of fats. Okay, and after that formation of ketone bodies. Test for ketone bodies, Rothera's test. What is the main principle? Acetic acid or acetone reacts with nitroprusside in alkaline solution to form a purple colored complex. Procedure: take 5 ml of urine in a test tube and saturate it with ammonium sulfate reagent, okay, and add a small crystal of sodium nitroprusside and mix it well. And after that, slowly run along the side of the test tube liquid ammonia to form a layer. If immediate formation of a purple permanganate colored ring at the junction of the two fluids indicates a positive test, okay. In positive test, there may be purple permanganate colored ring at the junction of the two fluids. There may be positive Rotheras test, okay. This is the test for ketone bodies. And after that, microscopic examination. In microscopic examination, we observe epithelial cells, RBCs, and few crystals, and some elements, organized substances, unorganized substances. In organized substances, red blood cells, white blood cells, epithelial cells, bacteria, and parasites. And in unorganized substances, there may be urinary deposits or urinary sediments, acid and alkaline hypotonic solutions. We observe in that any crystalline and amorphous material which are suspended in urine, and on standing they settle down and sediment at the bottom of the container, okay. And after that, microscopic urine analysis is done by pouring the urine sample into a test tube and centrifuging it for a few minutes. The top liquid part is discarded. The top liquid part will be discarded in that, and if any solid part left in the bottom of the test tube and is mixed with the remaining drop of urine in the test tube, and one drop of this is analyzed under a microscope. We must take only one drop of that analyzed solution, and under a microscope we observe that if any epithelial cells or RBCs, any cells, we must observe under the microscope only, okay. The top liquid part is discarded and solid part left in the test tube. In that solid part only we take one drop and we analyze it that under the microscope, okay. This is about microscopic examination cells in urine, and this is the under microscope how we observe the cells, epithelial cells, and any proteins or any bacteria we observe in urine, okay. This is about urinary testing. In urinary testing, test for glucose, test for ketone bodies. In test for glucose we need Benedict solution, and in test for ketone bodies acetoacetic acid and Rothera test. And after that, microscopic examination, we analyzed if any epithelial cells or any red blood cells, white blood cells or any bacteria is present, we must observe under the microscope. And after that, in physical examination, order, specific gravity, appearance, we see in physical examination, okay. And this is about and how to collect and how to preserve the urine sample and what are all the indications we see. And this is urinary analysis, okay. In after classes we see enema. Thank you everyone.